Podcast.
We Are Wrestling Extra.
A abrupt emergency. We Are Wrestling.
You only have so many spots on your roster. You can't have everyone.
They're going all in for these documentaries.
I want to be champion. I want to be the one to carry that flag.
You're a wrestler here? You're a wrestler?
It sucks seeing the real part of wrestling sometimes.
You're watching We Are Wrestling Extra.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, soon to be We Are Wrestling Predictions Champion, the best one, Donnie, here, live on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel for another extra. 2 extras in 1 week. Only happens when we have a Big 4 PLE, and it's Rumble week. And we got some big news to talk about this week here on the We Are Wrestling Podcast Extra. Before we get into it, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you're already and you're listening to this extra wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever. Leave us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download this extra and all the other podcasts that are available on audio form. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you're already over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content. You get random We Are Wrestling extras, which we're live on a Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally, we're live every Wednesday for the We Are Wrestling Podcast, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you get the best pro wrestling content. You get live watch-alongs for all the WWE PLEs, including the Royal Rumble, which we'll be doing this Saturday afternoon. You get live podcasts, you get reactions, you get vlogs, everything pro wrestling, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers. We recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real. And it's just myself. It's only the best one here live with you, ladies and gentlemen. We got Destry here in the live chat. Always the first one, I feel like. We got Alex Johnson. What's up, everybody? And I acknowledge Donnie as my tribal chief. That's right. Acknowledge me. We got Ben Harris in the live chat. Hello, Donnie. I hope Roman Reigns wins, but I really think Cody Rhodes will win the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes is definitely going to be in the Final Four, I think, which I do want to advertise. If you haven't listened to yesterday's live episode of the We Are Wrestling Podcast, episode 193, we did do our full predictions for the WWE Royal Rumble. And I also want to advertise that behind me, we do have our little bingo cage. And throughout the week, and if you decide that you want to send a $5 super chat, you'll get to enter a giveaway that we're going to be doing, where if you send in the $5 super chat, pretty much you will get one random ping pong ball with a number that is inside our bingo cage. If your number in either the men's or the women's Royal Rumble match wins, you will receive a brand new WWE action figure. That's right. So we're going to be drawing numbers in the beginning of our live watch along that will be happening this Saturday for the WWE Royal Rumble, which we will be going live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be drawing numbers. So if you want to get your number drawn and have a chance at winning a free WWE action figure, I would send in that $5 super chat. And a lot of you guys did in yesterday's live episode of the We Are Wrestling Pod. Also, if you guys haven't listened to the WWE Unreal Season 2 review that myself and the voice of the faithful, Phil McManus, did covering WWE Unreal Season 2 on Netflix, we did a whole review. I actually talked about my appearance on the show, and we just went in depth, and it's a great 1-hour conversation talking about it. But I would watch the Unreal series first before you take that extra time to check that out. But we also do have a bunch of reactions that have been coming out of nowhere this week with Monday Night Raw. Even had an AEW one last night, which we are going to talk about that individual in just a moment. And then, of course, tomorrow we will be having SmackDown reactions as well. It's been a very busy week here in the We Are Wrestling universe. But there's a lot of things to look forward to, and the Rumble is definitely one of them. Alex Johnson in the live chat. There's a fun fact, and it's the number one favorite in the betting odds for the women's Royal Rumble win. The the women's Rumble, and this year the number one favorite to win is Liv Morgan. I have been watching other people's reactions. I have been listening to their predictions, and a lot of people actually do have Liv Morgan winning. I'm sorry, Alex. I hope it doesn't happen because I really want Danny to lose that championship. I think Bianca Belair is coming back and winning that. That was my prediction yesterday. But we might as well get into the We Are Wrestling Podcast Extra because we have 3 massive news topics that we're going to be talking about today that cannot wait until next week's episode of the pod. Because next week's episode, I believe we are going to be doing the road to WrestleMania. And I can announce it right here because Rage, let me know in my personal messages who we're going to be putting over for next week's Getting Put Over segment. And that is going to be Trick Williams. That's right. We're going to be whooping that Trick next Wednesday live on the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We got Josh Toy Show here in the live chat. What's up, Donnie? What is going on, Josh Toy Show? And I'm excited to be here on a Thursday night. I'm excited because with the extras, I get a little bit more time to interact with you guys. And that's what I love doing when I do these live episodes, when I do these live watch-alongs and stuff. But yeah, we have 3 big topics that we're going to be talking about here. If you didn't watch AEW Dynamite last night, TOMMASO CIAMPA is all elite. We're going to talk about that. The Rock is possibly going to be getting the biggest payday in pro wrestling for WrestleMania 43. We're going to talk about that as well. And of course, the main event topic, AJ Styles filing a trademark for his logo and his name, the Phenomenal One AJ Styles, renewing it. Could that mean he's going to be doing stuff after the WWE? Maybe ending his career somewhere else? You're just going to have to wait and find out when I think about it. Hey, we got Rage in the live chat. What's going on? Which, by the way, Rage will be back on the We Are Wrestling Podcast next week. Something to be excited about. Bradley, We Are Wrestling member in the live chat. What is going on, my guy? Hope you're doing good. Man, we got some big news to talk about. We might as well start things off with the TV recap. Oh yeah, it's time for the We Are Wrestling TV recap for this week's extra. And if you didn't watch AEW Dynamite last night, then you must be hiding under a rock because former WWE NXT champion, one half of DIY, TOMMASO CIAMPA is all elite. That's right. His WWE contract has expired and he was a free agent for less than 24 hours. Made a surprising debut on AEW TV. I don't think any of the sources out there were indicating that he was going to go to AEW. I remember we did cover TOMMASO CIAMPA news a couple weeks ago, and we thought that he was going to just go on an indie run, similar to Cody Rhodes, similar to Drew McIntyre, and the latest WWE signing, Matt Cardona. But it looks like he is all elite, and the first thing I want to say with my thoughts about TOMMASO CIAMPA being a part of AEW, I think that this is a perfect move for the promotion, and it seems like it's getting a lot of positive buzz. A lot of people are actually talking about it, and they were quite surprised because there was really no rumors of him going to AEW, but it happened. And I think that they did a really good job with the whole presentation and everything. And the first thing that caught my eye instantly with TOMMASO CIAMPA has got to be the new theme The new theme is straight gas. And that's one thing I do want to definitely give some flowers to is Mikey Ruckus. He is the AEW music composer. He's the one that makes most of the AEW theme songs. And he's somebody that I really do think deserves his flowers because he's done a great job at making the entrances, making the songs matter. Unlike Def Rebel over in WWE. Big difference. But Mikey Ruckus did a great job with the whole presentation of Tommaso Ciampa's theme. I actually really do like this whole psycho character that he's doing. And honestly, him going for the TNT Championship in an open challenge, I think that's a great way to start. And honestly, the Collision ratings have been at an all-time low. So what better way to get some excitement over on Collision by having Tommaso Ciampa make his in-ring debut? I think that maybe they should have waited for a bigger stage, but then I think the longer you would wait, I feel like more people would have caught on to him going to AEW. So I think that this was the right move, and it was a surprise. And that's what you want when somebody makes their debut in any promotion, whether it's TNA, WWE, AEW, hell, the independent circuit. You want that surprise factor, and I thought Tommaso Ciampa showing up on Dynamite, I did not expect that one bit. We just got done recording our live episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast yesterday. Dan Eddie, Danny Hawkins, and myself, we were shooting the shit for probably 10 minutes, just talking off air, trying to figure some stuff out. And next thing you know, Danny says, "Oh my God." And he just sits there, not saying anything for like a minute, like he always does, over-exaggerates everything. And he lets us know that Tommaso Ciampa's all elite. I hung up immediately, went over to YouTube TV, because I do have all my shows pre-recorded, and I had to do a reaction right away with that Tommaso Ciampa debut, and my God, they did a great job. And I love that, like, he didn't have to say anything to make us feel something. And WWE, they totally fumbled the bag here with Tommaso Ciampa. And I think Ciampa would have stayed if they actually took the tag team division seriously. Like the summer of last year, it felt like they were actually going somewhere with the tag division. They had a great ladder match at SummerSlam. Haven't seen a tag team championship match on a PLE since. And it just seems like they just had no idea what the hell to do with Tommaso Ciampa. Right now, literally, his tag partner is having a storyline with Axiom fighting over a Power Ranger mask. Ciampa made the right move. Ciampa made the right move. I know there was, like, some of us, like, we were fantasy booking that we would like to see him in TNA. But honestly, after seeing the presentation that we got last night on Dynamite, I do think this was the right move. And a lot of people are actually talking about AEW right now because of it. And I do think that this was a smart strategic move because it took away, at least for a few seconds, everybody buzzing about the Royal Rumble. So I think this was a good signing. And honestly, I really hope that they have this man win the TNT Championship on Collision, because let's spice things up. Let's do something different with AEW programming. And honestly, giving Ciampa the championship, that would be a really cool fresh start. And honestly, a great way to instantly get him over. As much as I love Mark Briscoe. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens. He can't lose. That he cannot lose, because then all that buzz that we got on Dynamite would have just went right out the window. There would have been no point in it. But overall, I'm very happy with this AEW signing, and I think this is definitely a great move by Tony Khan. And before people say, "Oh my God, here we go again," AEW signs a former WWE guy. Ciampa was a part of Ring of Honor before WWE. And you know who owns Ring of Honor? Tony Khan. So, joke's on you. I'm such an AEW mark. And I don't know. I think it's fun when people leave AEW to go to WWE, when people leave WWE to go to AEW. Some even go to TNA. Like, I love the surprise factor, because I think if just everybody was just in the same company forever, it would suck. It would be boring. But let's see what you guys have to say here in the live chat. We got Eddie here saying he wants to win those free 2 action figures. That's right, $5 super chats. Eddie, he sent in his, so he'll be a part of that giveaway. Hopefully your number gets picked and you win. I hope TK does right by Ciampa. I agree. And just the presentation, let alone, he's done right. Better than his entire main roster run, even when he won the tag titles. Psycho Killer. Man, so good. So good. James all day. Mikey Ruckus is 100 times better than Def Rebel. Yes, I meant to spell it with an A. Laugh my ass off. And people forgot Ciampa came from the Indies. Exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of those black and gold NXT people came from the Indies because that was like the rare one time that WWE, they weren't just trying to create athletes into superstars. They were actually going after the best of the best that were in the independent wrestling scene. And that's why Johnny Wrestling and Tommaso Ciampa were the faces, the heart and soul of black and gold NXT. And honestly, like, you can't blame somebody like Ciampa for wanting better in his career. You really can't blame the guy because in black and gold NXT, he was one of the best tag teams with Johnny Wrestling, DIY, one of the best heel turns in the modern era, turning on Johnny. And then, of course, having that NXT championship run as a heel. Just one of the best natural heels on the NXT brand. And remind you, this is around the time when NXT was at an all-time high. Ciampa was the man over in black and gold NXT. So you go from that to jobbing out in squash tag matches. Of course, you're going to want to do better for yourself. And I think that's why there's more positives here in the IWC than negatives when it comes to Ciampa joining AEW. And I think even Danny was actually shocked with how good the presentation was with him. Just hopefully they keep the foot on the gas and he doesn't end up being in random $100,000 6-man tag matches. But I will say the last couple years, the signings with AEW, they have done a pretty good job at booking the talent that they are signing that aren't getting really lost in the shuffle, per se. But let's now get into the We Are Wrestling hot, big and weekly news and rumors. And these are some headliners that could be main event topics on a regular episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. Always remember, just because Dave Meltzer says it, it doesn't mean it's true. Take everything we're about to talk about with a pinch of salt. Oh my god, AEW misused another guy. Oh my god, WWE is ripping us off again. Oh my god, this guy's leaving. He said, what? The IWC, who have no profile pictures, are afraid to show themselves, is buzzing about the dirt sheets. Moose said, we're not allowed to criticize anything unless we're in the business. But fuck it. Let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors.
You fucking mark!
Oh, it's time, baby, to get into the news. And we have two headliners that we're going to be talking about.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Moxley's just as crazy as him.
No, Ricky! Bullshit!
They do it too sometimes. I'll be catching it.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Stop playing.
But that's my opinion.
I'm not cheering for that shit.
He's so over.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
What's up, We Are Wrestling? How are you? Shout out to the best one. Let's get to this. Let me get into this AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match first and foremost. The Saturday night's main event. The match was beautiful. If this is AJ Styles' retirement tour officially, then he's going out with a blast. He's doing everything a legend like himself is supposed to do. So, shout out to AJ Styles. Like, he's just one of the greatest of all time. And he's one of my favorites of all time. one of my goals, my top 10. I don't want to be too extricate about it, but him and Shinsuke, they did steal the show. So shout out to both of them. And then there's other news of Evil possibly joining WWE. Don't like it. Do not like it one bit. Another wrestler wants to go to WWE and gets lost in the shuffle. And everybody, they start to run with the narrative that this is good. I'm like, no. Evil going to WWE is not good. He's literally the top heel in New Japan, was the top heel in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, he's over here in WWE now. I don't like it one bit, man. Like, I can't even talk about it. I'm just sick to my stomach. But hey, if it's best for his career, then I'm not knocking it either. At the end of the day, the grind is real somewhat. That's my opinion, though. Let me know what y'all know. I mean, I'm disgusted by it, but let me know.
Well, Ricky knows best. Well, that was a surprise right there. Wasn't expecting that. Donnie is busy. Nah, man, I got interrupted by Ricky knows best, but Ricky's got that aura. He's over in the We Are Wrestling universe, so I can't really be upset with it. But yeah, Ricky knows best, man. One like equals one prayer for him. All his New Japan guys are all leaving, trying to go to WWE. I feel like the past like 3 Ricky knows bests, it's been a New Japan guy being rumored to go to WWE. But he's the one that has all that insight scoop when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I already watch enough wrestling as it is. But what is going on, Matthew? I hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing good. Hope everybody here is doing good. And we have 14 people total. We're live on X. We're live on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button now. But we appreciate you guys being here on a Thursday during Rumble Week. But I do think that Evil going to WWE, I could see it happening. Him getting lost in the shuffle. Wouldn't be surprised by it. Like, I feel like WWE has way too many people on their roster. Same with AEW at this point. And there's only so much television time that you really have. So I don't know how I feel. I don't really know much about Evil. But I wouldn't be surprised if WWE is going after him. Must be good if he's getting that type of traction, that type of buzz. James all day here in the live chat. I'm just as concerned as Ricky about Evil joining WWE, but he'd be better off there than AEW. Yeah, probably. But NXT could use some star power. I don't know much about Evil, but he seems somebody that he could stand out. But I don't know. At the same time, they have fumbled a lot of New Japan people, like they did to Finn Balor this week on Monday Night Raw. But let's get into our We Are Wrestling podcast extra weekly news and rumors. And we have 2 headliners here, and we're going to talk about it. So, The Rock might be at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it was noted from sources in Saudi Arabia that they were wanting The Rock on WrestleMania 43 and that he would be getting the largest offer ever made for someone to do a pro wrestling show for his involvement. Does this surprise me one bit? Absolutely not. And I think that if I am Saudi, I am throwing as much money as possible to get The Rock at WrestleMania 43 because I want this whole Roman versus Rock thing to end once and for all. I want The Rock and Cody to finish their storyline once and for all. I am just over the final boss at this point. If you're going to commit to WWE, commit to WWE. If you're not going to commit to WWE and not finish storylines, then stay in Hollywood, continue to make those entertaining movies. The Rock will always be a legend. I will never discredit him. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. I love Dwayne Johnson. I love his movies. I love him as a wrestler. But what we got with the John Cena heel turn, it's so hard to just sweep it under the rug. It is so hard to just forget about what happened with the Travis Scott, Rock, Cena, Cody Rhodes incident at WWE Elimination Chamber in 2025. The Rock should have been at WrestleMania 41. The Rock, they should have done something with Cena here because Cena the heel turn was such a disaster that he just randomly had to turn face the night before SummerSlam with no backstory, nothing that made sense. And I think a lot of people, they were upset about the farewell tour because of how bad that heel turn was. The moment, my God, that was so close to Hulk Hogan's heel turn, Bash at the Beach 96. People were comparing that John Cena heel turn at Elimination Chamber to that. But WCW, they had stuff to follow up. And that's when the NWO took over, brother, and they won for 82 consecutive weeks against WWF during the Monday Night Wars. John Cena's heel turn, they had no plan to follow it up. You had him off of TV, absent. He was ghost for 3 weeks straight. 3 weeks we didn't hear anything from John Cena after one of the most viral clips in all of WWE in the past 25 years happened. Heard nothing for 3 weeks. Lost all of that buzz. Something that AEW does a lot of the times when they sign talent. They start to use them on TV for a couple weeks and then they get lost in the shuffle, go over to Ring of Honor, or they have random matches that are for money. But with The Rock, I just want this to be over with. And if there's a time and there's a place to finish these stories, it's WrestleMania 43 in Saudi. So I hope that The Rock does get the biggest offer ever made in professional wrestling. Because if that's what it's going to take to convince The Rock to finish his career, I think that it needs to happen sooner rather than later. But what do we do with The Rock going into WrestleMania 43? Because there's 3 ways that they could do this. One, we can get The Rock and Cody Rhodes. The Rock has been feuding with Cody more than Roman Reigns during the past couple years, especially the build-up for WrestleMania 40 when Rock teamed up with Roman to go against Seth and Cody Rhodes. And of course, Cody and The Rock, they have that history, but we never got a one-on-one match with one another. The Rock was a part of John Cena's heel turn. And who got their ass beat in that moment? Cody Rhodes. By The Rock, by Travis Scott, by John Cena. So we have not finished the story with The Rock and Cody Rhodes. So honestly, WrestleMania 43, I wouldn't mind seeing Rock and Cody. But then you have scenario number 2. The Rock versus Roman Reigns. This has been the dream match of all dream matches in the Bloodline family. For the longest time, people have been wanting Roman versus Rock. And they keep teasing it time after time, but they never go through with it. And if there's a time and place that they could have that match happen and have it take place, I think it's WrestleMania 43. So Rock versus Roman needs to happen. That's another match. And then third, you could always do the triple threat match because Cody versus Roman versus Rock. Cody and Roman have that history. Rock has history with both Roman and Cody Rhodes. So you could always do something there. But I do hope that this does happen because I am sick and tired of hearing rumors about The Rock coming back for one more match. I'm sick of hearing it because I was so invested in the Final Boss character. I loved the Final Boss. And WrestleMania 40 was one of the best road to WrestleManias that we've had in such a long time. So I am just hoping to God that this is true. These reports here, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I hope The Rock is getting this offer, and I hope that he takes it because I would love to see this storyline get finished. And I think that The Rock versus Cody Rhodes, that is a marquee WrestleMania blockbuster match. The Rock versus Roman Reigns, I think, is even bigger than that. So they could always have Rock and Cody maybe go at it at the Royal Rumble going into next year in 2027. And then at WrestleMania, we get Roman versus Rock, which I think it has to be the main event. Has to be for WrestleMania 43. But am I surprised that The Rock might be getting the biggest offer in pro wrestling history? I'm not surprised by it one bit. But let's see what you guys have to say about it. We have Figs and Sigs in the live chat. My buddy, Nate, what's going on? I want Styles to stay in WWE somehow and continue facing talent. There's so much good matchups in AEW, but I don't want to see him end his career in a different company. I want WWE or TNA. I agree. And we're going to get into AJ Styles after we talk about The Rock with WrestleMania 43. Matthew in the live chat. Roman Reigns will finish the story against The Rock at WrestleMania, and Cody will finish his storyline against The Rock. That is the only thing I care about with the final boss coming back to WWE television. Finish your storyline with Cody Rhodes. Give us a match. Rock versus Cody. And of course, have your final match of your professional wrestling sports entertainment career against Roman Reigns. The match that we have been wanting for years. And they've teased it for years. But due to schedule conflicts and injuries and all bunch of other baloney, we have not gotten the Roman versus Rock match. And I think if there's a time and place to do it, it's WrestleMania 43. If you smell what the final boss is cooking. And I hope it's not just he shows up at WrestleMania 43 and that's it. If he's going to have a main event match, we need him during the whole road to WrestleMania. Rock, you've done enough movies in Hollywood. Time to take a break from the cameras and come back home to the WWE and finish your story. Not just for the Cody Crybabies, not for the OTC, for yourself. Because I feel like The Rock definitely deserves to have that perfect ending for his career. But in the live chat, who do you guys want? Would you rather have Cody versus Rock at WrestleMania 43 or Roman versus Rock? Figs and Sigs, he wants Roman versus Rock. Don't blame you at all for that one. But let's talk about AJ Styles and let's get into our last news topic for this week's We Are Wrestling podcast, Extra. And before we get into that, if you guys haven't gone over to We Are Wrestling's Pro Wrestling Tees website, we have a brand new shirt available now. The We Are Wrestling is Unreal shirt to celebrate my appearance on Netflix's show, WWE Unreal Season 2. So if you guys want to go get yourself a brand new We Are Wrestling is Unreal shirt, they're available now on ProWrestlingTees.com. It is down in the links in the description box below. But let's talk about the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, because of course this Saturday, going into the Royal Rumble, he is going to be having a career match against Gunther, where if he loses to the Ring General, he will be ending his career in the WWE. But there was some news that came out earlier this morning, and that is AJ Styles filed a trademark on January 28th, 2026 for his Phenomenal One logo and his name, pretty much renewing it, getting the rights to it. And I want to talk about this because a lot of people are buzzing and they think that AJ Styles will not have his last match in the WWE ring. And I think for the past couple weeks, ever since this match was announced that we were getting AJ Styles versus Gunther, with this stipulation of AJ Styles losing, his career is over. We have been fantasy booking on the pod. And I've said it. My best case scenario for AJ Styles, I want him to have that final match with Gunther at the Royal Rumble. But after the Rumble, I want him to go to TNA, have his very last match inside a TNA ring, because it's the right thing. It's the right move for AJ Styles, because that man was the John Cena of TNA. Man, 2005, I was the biggest AJ Styles fan. I was the biggest John Cena fan in the world. Loved both of these guys. And AJ Styles, I always, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, the way his final run in Impact Wrestling ended, because they wanted him to take a 70% pay cut. And that's where we're left off, even though with this partnership with WWE and TNA, We've got to see a couple appearances by the Phenomenal One. I got to see him at Slammiversary Live in Long Island, New York, which that was a really cool experience, him putting over Leon Slater. And then we also got to see him during the AMC premiere. And he was teasing going after the TNA World Championship. Had a segment with Frankie Kazarian, and he also had a segment with Mike Santana putting him over. So I would love for AJ Styles to have that final match in TNA. And to me, that's the best case scenario. What happens if AJ Styles is going to be retiring, which I think this is one of the worst kept secrets in all of pro wrestling right now, because especially you could just like see the emotions the last couple matches that AJ Styles has had. Let's talk about Saturday Night Main Event, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. That match was so much better than their WrestleMania 34 one. And Shinsuke even wrote on Instagram this emotional post honoring the Phenomenal One and talking about how AJ Styles plans to retire at the Royal Rumble. Then, of course, this past Monday on Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles went for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. And then, of course, CM Punk, after the match, when WWE Raw went off the air, he had this emotional speech. I think AJ Styles is going to have his last WWE match this Saturday at the Royal Rumble, and it's going to be bittersweet. It's going to be sad because 10 years ago, in 2016, AJ Styles made his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble, entering the Rumble at number 3. I really do hope, like, if he is ending his career in 2026, he does go to TNA and he has that final match. So I think there's no better way of ending your career. John Cena ending it in WWE, that's the right move. Tanahashi ending his New Japan Pro Wrestling career in New Japan, that's the right move. Bryan Danielson ending his in-ring career in an AEW ring is the right move. And that's the thing. I feel like with AJ Styles, he got his big break in wrestling from TNA. He was the very first X Division champion. He is a Grand Slam champion, held all the titles at one point throughout his run over there. He was the face that ran the place. So I would love to see AJ get that last match in TNA. But with him filing this trademark, that does open up that scenario of AJ Styles possibly going to AEW. And I think there is some people that are thinking that it could come to fruition. It could actually possibly happen. The Phenomenal One, AJ Styles, ending his career at AEW. It is a possibility. Like, obviously, AJ said he wants to retire before the age of 50. He's 48 years old right now. He's been saying 2026 is going to be his last active year in professional wrestling. And we're only in January. We are only in January. There's still a whole year left. And he did say he didn't want to have a farewell tour as well. But he also has buddies over in AEW with Kenny Omega, with the Young Bucks. He has those relationships because of his run in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And some of these matchups with AJ Styles, this could be a game changer for AEW. Think about it. AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega, AEW All In. You're telling me you're not watching that match? That right there is fucking money. AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega. AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay. AJ Styles versus MJF. There are so many fun matchups that AJ Styles could have if he did decide to have his last run in All Elite Wrestling. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I really do think that he's going to have his very last match this Saturday. Maybe make some appearances with TNA periodically. And it sucks because I want to see him have that last match in TNA Wrestling where it should be. But AEW, I will say this, if they're able to convince AJ Styles to have his last run, maybe a 6-month run with AEW, they're going to pick that momentum back up from WWE. And I think this could be a game changer for AEW. And they need something like this to happen. But we also have seen AJ Styles on social media say that he doesn't want to go to AEW as well. Like, there's been replies to certain things. There was a fan that had an AEW championship at a WWE house show during one of the international tours, and AJ Styles refused to sign it. Did say in the video that he still loves Kenny Omega and stuff, but he can't sign it. Man, AJ Styles to All Elite Wrestling would have been such a game changer if that happened during his career. But one thing that we know about AJ Styles, and I think the reason why a lot of us fans love the Phenomenal One so much, is his loyalty. Nobody is more loyal than AJ Styles at the end of the day. He took massive pay cuts throughout his TNA run to put TNA on the map. AJ Styles, the only reason he left Impact was because he had to. A 70% pay cut. You're telling me that your job, if your boss tells you like you need to take a 70% pay cut and you're pouring your heart, you're pouring your soul into everything that you're doing, and they tell you need to take a 70% pay cut, like, do you blame the guy for actually leaving? Because I don't. AJ Styles has always been such a loyal soldier, always one to never complain, always just do what's best. And that's why, like, I do see AJ Styles ending his in-ring career in the WWE, doing it the right way. And I think that this trademark is just him trying to have his rights. Because, of course, 10 years ago, he wanted to make sure that his name was trademarked, the logo was trademarked, so that WWE didn't own it in case AJ Styles decided he needed to go elsewhere, like at AEW or back to TNA or something. But there is so many scenarios you never know in pro wrestling, and that's why I'm saying there's a slight chance that the Phenomenal One could go to AEW. And some of those matchups, trust me, I would love to see. Those are some video game matchups that I would do on WWE 2K. But at the end of the day, I think for some of us, like, we're getting a little too excited. When I saw the filing of the trademark news, I got a little carried away. I was getting a little excited, thinking about all the dream scenarios, and I just know I'm going to be let down. But AJ, I hope he ends his career in TNA. It needs to be in a TNA ring. AJ versus Frankie Kazarian. Let's make it happen. Also, one thing I want to mention too before I forget. Another guy, one of his biggest rivals of all time, is one of the top guys at AEW, and that's Samoa Joe. Maybe AJ Styles wants to have that final match with Samoa Joe. They have had classics all throughout. They had a great rivalry in WWE. They had a phenomenal rivalry in TNA, had some classics in Ring of Honor. So that's also a possibility as well. But I do think that AJ Styles, he's done on Saturday. But some interesting news. I love that the IWC, they are buzzing about AJ Styles filing his trademark. But we'll have to see what happens. We got Matthew here in the live chat. If AJ Styles loses the match to Gunter at the Royal Rumble 1-on-1, that means he will retire. Technically, yes, in the WWE, though. There's been plenty of wrestlers, Matt, that have had their retirement match in WWE, but went on to another promotion and had a second run. One of them, for example, Edge. He had his last match in Toronto on SmackDown against Sheamus, and they kind of built that up as a little bit of a retirement match for his WWE run. And then the Rated R Superstar joined AEW because he wanted new opportunities, and that's what he did. Bryan Danielson, they've also done that with him. He went to AEW to end his career. There's people that do retire, but they aren't necessarily done. AJ Styles did say he is done. But will it be in a WWE ring? That's the question. I think it's going to be. I want it to be in TNA, but it's going to be in WWE. If AEW somehow convinces AJ Styles to have one final run over there, I think that the momentum is that could be the best thing AEW could do. But I don't see that happening. Figs and Sigs in the live chat. I think AJ wants to be a coach / producer as well. I could see that. I could definitely see AJ being a producer for sure, a coach. A lot of people compare him to Shawn Michaels They say he's the modern Shawn Michaels of our era of wrestling. So I could definitely see him taking on one of those roles. And honestly, there's nobody better to be in one of those roles than AJ Styles, because he's just so good and he just understands what it is. AJ Styles versus Takeshita, that'd be a good one. So many different scenarios throughout that could happen. You never know in wrestling. They say never say never. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens here, because you never know. There is no reports about AJ Styles going to TNA or going to AEW. I want to put that out there, because I just know there is a lot of people that are speculating that he could be maybe going somewhere because of the trademarks. But you also have to remember that 10 years ago, before making his debut at the Royal Rumble in 2016, 10 years ago, he wanted to make sure that he had his name trademarked, that he had his logo trademarked, so that WWE didn't have the rights to it in case AJ Styles became a free agent. Because if he became a free agent and WWE had those rights to his name and everything that he built from the ground up, then what could AJ Styles actually do? So I think it's just one of those situations where it was expiring, because I think trademarks, it's 10 years. So it makes sense that he had to renew it on January 28th. But I do love that it's got everybody buzzing and it's got everybody pissed off, especially on the We Are Wrestling socials. There is people in the comments saying, this is clickbait. AJ is retiring. Da-da-da-da-da. No shit. I think it's just fun for us wrestling fans. Like, we just don't want to let go. That's really what it comes down to. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide that joined us for this special We Are Wrestling Podcast Extra, I appreciate all you guys that are here in the live chat, because extras, we don't do them regularly on a weekly basis. They really only happen when big things happen, when we do have a big episode of our podcast. So I do appreciate all you guys being here. James All Day Styles can most likely go to TNA and end his career there. I'm hoping. Miles High, if WWE were smart, they would sign AJ to a 1-year deal so he gets his retirement like John Cena. I believe that's something AJ didn't want to do, Miles. I know he did say he didn't want to have that retirement tour like Cena did because of, I think, the backlash, the fire. And some people want to keep their retirement low key as well. And maybe that's what AJ wants to do. And having it at the Rumble where he debuted just makes the most sense for him. AJ should stay away from AEW. I wouldn't mind it. If anything, AEW should be doing everything they can to try to convince AJ to have a 1 more year run. Because I think momentum will definitely shift over to AEW if AJ Styles goes over there. That's just my honest opinion. Because WWE is starting to lose a little bit of that momentum because of this TKO and WWE Unreal and the super, super long storylines that don't have big payoffs. So the momentum right now, it could take an AJ Styles to change that momentum. But I don't think that he's going to go to AEW, James. I don't see that happening. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that were a part of this live We Are Wrestling Podcast Extra, I appreciate you guys. Saturday, we will still be doing our $5 Royal Rumble giveaway contest. If you send in a $5 super chat, you'll get one random ping pong ball with a number that is in our bingo cage. If your number in either the men's or the women's Royal Rumble match wins, you'll receive a brand new WWE action figure. So pretty much Saturday, the beginning of our watch along for the Royal Rumble, I'm going to be drawing numbers out of the ping pong, out of our bingo cage, and whatever number you get, if that number lands in the men's or the women's Royal Rumble, and that person ends up winning the Rumble match with your number that you drew, you win a free figure. And we do have quite a lot of people that actually have been sending in the $5 to be a part of this. So we'll be still doing that this Saturday for the WWE Royal Rumble. But remind you, the balls are limited. So if you want to get a ping pong ball, you want to secure yours, it's a $5 super chat. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, if you enjoyed this, smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you're ready and you're listening to this extra wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download this extra and all the other audio shows you can listen to that's a part of the We Are Wrestling universe. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you're ready over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content. Yesterday, we had our full predictions for the WWE Royal Rumble. We have an extra. Phil McManus and myself review WWE Unreal Season 2. And of course, a bunch of reactions. And this Saturday, the Royal Rumble watch-along stream, which we do live watch-alongs for all the WWE PLDs and AEW pay-per-views and specials. The best way to support We Are Wrestling is hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. The link's down in the description box below. You can go follow me over on my social medias, and you can go follow We Are Wrestling over on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. All the links are down in the description box below. Go get yourself a brand new We Are Wrestling is Unreal shirt, available now on ProWrestlingTees.com. All the links are down below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.